we've got our DHS 790 here, Flex Volt, and we got it back for the second time from DeWalt factory service, about $300 later, and we were told do not use this anymore. Don't use this AC adapter. Only run it with batteries, which is strange because that's kind of one of the reasons I bought it, because it has both, you know, capabilities. But it's a known issue. They're telling me that if you're running it on the adapter directly to power, that it tends to blow out the motor, which makes sense because, like I said, this is the second motor. So from now on, I'm only going to be using this as batteries, with batteries, but this is what's going to be our job site saw again, just cordless. And our Milwaukee 12-inch 18 volt is also going to be with us on site. But yeah, it's back, and I'll give you an update on how the motor holds up this time. It'll probably be fine, but I'm just a little disappointed in that I can't use this anymore, because a lot of times we do have power. So that's unfortunate. And real quick, while we're talking tools, some more sustainers have entered the shop. I picked up this Rotex RO90 from Festool, and then I got some pads as well. And yeah, again guys, Festool did not let me down. Exceeded my expectations. Freaking awesome sander. So more on that later. And honestly, the way this whole Festool thing is going, I'm pretty much sold on them now. We've got the track saw, the Domino, and now this sander. It's insane, like how good these tools are. It's crazy. So this tower right here will obviously continue to grow. And I love, like, one other thing about them, I love the fact that, I know it's kind of funny, but you just look at it, all right, dominoes in there. We got our dominoes, you know, contained in here. Then we got our track saw in there. It's just really cool how they give you a dedicated toolbox for everything. So trust me guys, I'm not sponsored by them. I would be, because it would save me a lot of money, but I don't think they're interested. So this tower will continue to grow, and I'll clean all this up. This is a mess. It's kind of in a disarray right now because I'm tearing my house up a little bit more. Let me show you. So as we come into the living room on the addition back here, you'll see it's in a bit of disarray. I've got my scaffold set up here. I just patched up that drywall up there. It's not the best job. I'm not worried about it, because what I intend to do is put some tongue and groove boards going across this whole big ceiling in here, and then I want to put some beams in here as well. So this is 20 foot high. It's a little excessive. I would like to, you know, use a feature to kind of bring it down a little bit aesthetically. So tongue and groove with beams, I don't really think you can go wrong. Real traditional look. So it'll be white tongue and groove, and then probably like white oak beams or something like that. So we're going to be doing that to the ceiling, and we were sitting here earlier talking about this whole thing, and we both don't like how this comes out, how this corner comes out. It's a waste of space. I'll climb in there in a second and show it to you. But Ashley was saying, like, why don't we just get rid of that and center the fireplace on this wall? And I was like, I would love to do that. You know, I only do as much as she allows me to do. So if she's gonna say, hey, you can move this, I'm for it. Because I know, like, seriously though, for the people living in the remodel, it's annoying. Like, we have a scaffold in our living room. That's not, wives don't like that usually. So yeah, let's move it, and that's what we're gonna do. So what I will have to do is lace the floor back in. I just put the floor in over here, so that's not hard. I'm gonna have to, you know, pull the boards out that are cut at that angle and probably pull those two out, and then just fill it back in. I'll just need one more bundle of this 7-inch white oak flooring, and then I can just refinish it. It'll be fine, it'll be easy. No problem at all there. And what we're learning here is, like, we don't have a designer, we don't have an architect, we are deciding all this stuff. So a lot of times we're taking like one step forward and then 2 steps back. Like, 1 step forward was getting the floor in, the 2 steps back is now moving the mantle and, you know, patching that floor up. But what we found, she's always had a hard time, and trying to lay this room out. It's a really awkward room, and especially if you have a TV over here above the fireplace, which is where kind of the only place you can have it.
They used to have it right here, so then you had a TV here and the fireplace here, but they had like a love seat and then a chair and then a chair and then a chair.
It was awkward.
And it was because there's like not a good place to put the furniture. But as big as our family is, we want like, I want to be able to do a sectional everywhere. So then we did a sectional, but it was, so when we were sitting there talking about doing this, watching the TV, I was sitting here, like here.
TV is right there. We just took it down.
Here on this wall, along the wall, and the TV's here. We couldn't see the TV, so she like tilted it even, and it was just like, this isn't right. You can just tell like, this isn't where it's supposed to be. So when we wanted to tilt the couch, but you can't tilt the couch because it doesn't work. It's not big enough. It's a big area. Why isn't it working? It's not working because this big corner is being taken, and
yeah, it's a big,
but it needs to go because it's just,
yeah. I don't want to tear it out either.
It's one of those things like, if you're gonna do it, you might as well just do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird too. I'll show you I'll go up these stairs and show you what we're kind of talking about.
So the couch ran along here, and then went this way, and went this way. So it was like a big U shape, and I was sitting here while we're watching TV. So you could sit here, and obviously like the better spot would be here, but it's still awkward because where is the focal point? Like when you go into a room, where's the focal point? Okay, it's here. So if it's here, shouldn't you be focused on this area? But you can't.
Yeah, you can't put the couches. There's a walkway right here too.
Maybe put it here. We try to put it like sideways.
It's awkward.
Just the whole room is just really weird. It just wasn't working. And then we're gonna put doors here. So what's that gonna do to the room? I don't know. But it's just been very difficult to decide what we're gonna do here. And I just know that behind that, there's probably like, I don't know, way too much room where it's just not, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, there is.
It's convenient because now you're going to have to just tear this all apart. This is like where we hang out a lot of the time, but I guess so, right?
Yeah. Well, like you said, we got to do it right. And I think this is going to be so much better because as you come from the original 30s cottage, this is looking into the addition. So what you would see is the mantle as the focal point right there. All the stairs and stuff will be redone properly. And then we'll have that extra, corner there where we can put a door, a window or something, because I built that door frame. You can see it behind the scaffold there. And that is now just gonna get pushed to the right a little bit. A lot of it actually. So it's still going to work, and I think it's gonna work better in balance. I could even do maybe like a French door on each side. Let me show you what space we're going to be gaining by going in here. Yeah, so in here we have 5 foot in each direction, and then from the back of the fireplace here we have like 4.5 feet. So that's a lot of space. I mean, I'm in here, there's a ton of room in this corner. It's just really, really awkward. So yes, we're gonna have to move this flue, everything. I'm gonna have to have a plumber come. Our gas line comes from the top down. So we're gonna go ahead and remove all this here. We're gonna get started now. It is a little bittersweet though, as awesome as it is gonna be to move this over. I am losing my mantle. I spent a lot of time on this, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta redo stuff. No, thought it would be a little bit stronger than that. Perfect. I like it.
I don't want to.
You're almost there.
I don't want to.
I always wanted to punch through the wall. This is my chance. So I think this is what we're gonna do. We're going to take it out in sections like this, just cutting it down one side with the reciprocator, up the other side, fold them out of there. And then when I get all the drywall off, then I'll start prying and cutting the framing off. But one section down right here, several more to go. And let's watch this on time lapse. It's a lot more enjoyable that way. All right, next day over here, and I made it all the way down. So got this off here. Not sure how this is going to come apart because I've never done this before, but it looks like those are riveted together. So you can see like this pipe obviously slides up into that one, and then this crimped right here, I'm guessing. So I'm going to have to figure out how to take that off. It's going to be fun challenge. And then over here, the gas line, I just ran to the hardware store and got a cap and Teflon tape. And then I've got soapy water right here and just sprayed it on all these joints to make sure that it's not leaking. And it appears that everything is good. So I'm gonna have to go up there and shut off the main to eventually take this whole thing down. But at least now I can take off this little platform. That's really all that's left, and that'll get me to my slab foundation. And then I'll need to order another bundle of flooring and patch this up, lace it back in. But yeah, it wasn't too bad really. That was really just a facade, obviously. It wasn't anything structural. Got to get this out of here. I think we're gonna keep this and put it in our bedroom probably, maybe eventually, and just add it to the list. Okay, so this area is pretty much cleaned up now for the most part, but now I get to do another not so fun part, and that is removing the flooring that I just installed. So that piece right there can stay, that goes to the wall. All these 45 cut pieces will have to go, and then those two will have to go as well. So thankfully these right here are short to start off. This one's a little long, that one's a little long, that one's short. That one's really long. That's gonna be a tricky one to get out. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna start messing with these and seeing how hard it is to get out this short one first. Yes, first piece out. So this is really hard to remove this flooring. It is crazier than a nail down, because a nail you only have like certain points holding it, and you pry on it, it kind of starts easing out. This one, it's basically the whole board is covered in glue, and I'm trying to lift that up. It's tough. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go get my DeWalt track saw and just start cutting and kind of shredding these boards. Get my pry bar in there, my hammer, and just peel them off. I think that's gonna work better actually, because I've got some of these boards that go deeper back on other boards that are not coming out, and I don't wanna just pry up on that. I'd rather kind of hit it in and cut pieces out of it. So I'm gonna be just whittling away at this really until I get the pieces out that are necessary. And if you're wondering why I'm not using my new Festool track saw, I'm not putting that on concrete right here. That's just my straight line rip, remember? Nice. That's the plan right there. Heck yeah. So 2 down, 6 more to go. This track saw method is definitely working better than just beating it out with a hammer and pry bar. So one thing I figured out on this whole experiment of moving this flooring over is that at least I know my flooring is installed solid. I mean, this stuff is in there. It's crazy. So got my work cut out for me today. So I'm down to the last 3 boards here, as you can see. And I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but that board against the wall can just stay. It has a tongue on it. I got lucky there. But yeah, I'm just taking it to the edge of the board, to the joint, cutting that. Making sure I don't go past it, of course, because then I would have to take out the next board, which would be horrible. But this is working out really good. All this leftover glue that I need to get off, I'm using that SDS. I've already kind of cleaned up this area. With that, I just have a little chisel tip on it. I've sharpened that at the bench grinder, and it does pretty good. I'm not going to be able to get all this off. I can do better than what it looks now, but I'll get as much of it as I can and then vacuum it, and this will pretty much be ready to lace back in. Okay, so we now have this ready to accept the new flooring. So when I get the new flooring, I'll just glue that back down, orbital sand over it with the big buff sander, and then put the Loba on top, which is what we used on this floor, and it's what we're using on our doors. So now we have this dilemma. So basically, we can center the new fireplace, treating this whole wall as one. So from that corner over there to that corner over there, find center, bam, new fireplace. I built this French door frame to originally go like in this area, but that all changed with this addition. But this, I checked it, it'll still fit on the right side if we do the fireplace in the middle, and I could build another one and do double French doors on both sides of the mantle, basically. And then the other option we're looking at as far as where the mantle is going to go,
it's centering it from this wall instead of that one, so that the living room would be in the middle here versus kind of off-centered. But if you center it here, then instead of putting a French door here, it'd be a window instead.
Which is okay, but I think it would be really cool to have it balanced. And I think it would look good. It would look more uniform.
Well, it's going to be balanced technically from this wall, but since this is the opening, this is the garage. If you come in through the front door, the opening is actually from this wall to this wall. This is what you see. So if you look, if it was centered on this wall, it would be centered right. It would be centered when you're looking. So if you walk in the front door and you come to our living room, the fireplace would be centered as you come into the living room. If you're coming from the garage, then it'd be centered coming from this way. But my biggest concern, and the reason what really depends to me, is that the couches, like the seating.
It's a whole nother challenge.
Yeah,
we're not keeping these couches that we have.
But I do want a sectional, because whenever you center it and you have all these doors and all these windows, your seating is going to be much more difficult.
So we need to figure out layout.
Yes.
And my next biggest thing really on my list after lacing this back in is getting the mantle, or not the mantle, the firebox. Because we're going to do, I think, an inside-outside one, so we can build up like a little patio on the other side. It's going to be see-through. Got to figure that out. Another thing to figure out. It's fun, it's a challenge, and it's expensive. So.
Okay, luckily we have 2 living rooms. So there's a smaller one up there, and the girls have a TV in their room, the TV that was in here. So they're super excited.
Yeah.
And it's not permanent. We don't like the TVs in the kids' room because then we would never see them.
Like right now.
Yeah, they'd be in their room all the time, and that's where they've been. Well, Richard's been working, and I've been doing whatever.
Yeah, only on the weekends. We're not bad parents.
Yeah.
Just the weekend.
Yeah, really. No, they're about to get off, and we're gonna go get snow cones. So he said as soon as he's done here, it's 6.
But I'm just gonna eat ice because I'm not eating sugar right now, really. So.
He's on a diet. So for all those been giving him crap about his weight, he's getting it under control.
So let us know if you have any questions or comments about this. Ashley is gonna read all the comments personally, and let us know if you have any ideas, layout, whatnot. We need help. We don't have an architect. We're basically looking for free architecture and design consulting. So yeah.